Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So for those of you new to our podcast, we're Soul to Soul, the Korean American Journey, and we're in collaboration with UCLA KCN. And we basically just cover stories and themes regarding Korean culture and Korean American culture. And yeah, that's us. So to introduce our hosts, my name is Clara.
John.
I'm Madison.
And we have a very special guest today.
Yeah, hi, I'm Madeline. I'm the director this year for KCN.
Woohoo! Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, regarding our word of the day, which will be shared with by Madison.
Yes. Our word for the day is 이야기, and this means story in Korean.
이야기.
이야기. You can use this in as a noun because it's a noun. It's like story. And so if you're just like a kid and you're asking your mom, like, 엄마, 나한테 동화 이야기 들려줘. You use it like as in like, can you tell me a story? Or can you read me a story? Like 이야기. And you can also use it for like within friends too.
Just
It's
like talk.
Yeah.
I think the
이야기할래?
shorter word is like 얘기.
얘기.
Yeah, a lot of people just say 얘기.
I think 얘기 is like talk. 이야기
Yeah.
is like story.
Maybe, yeah. But yes. That is-
Yeah. Use it with your friends. Tell them, 이야기를 들려줄까?
Oh, yeah.
Which means, want me to tell you a story? Yeah.
More on that later.
So just before we jump right into kind of the main theme of today's episode, I just kind of wanted to check in. How is everybody doing?
Madison, it's been forever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We're going. It's almost the end of the quarter, but
Yes.
it's been a little busy.
Like, honestly, I don't even know when the first episode you recorded. I don't know when it's gonna go up. So like
This
this whole
might be-
timeline might be messed up, but yeah,
Very good point.
it is
Yeah.
currently on the day of recording. It is almost final season. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Beginning of week 10.
We're holding up. We're almost there. Ready for break. But yeah. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. Just very busy. A lot of photo stuff. Yes, it's been good.
Yes, because John takes
Oh,
grad photos. If you guys need grad photos, DM John for his rates. Yes.
thank you.
Instagram will be put in the comments.
maybe. Madeline, how have you been?
I've been good. Yeah, finishing up the script, kind of in that little lull between the end of midterms or end of my papers and then start of finals. So, yeah.
Clara, how have you been?
I've been busy trying to catch up on my classes. I have finals and it's revealing how many classes I've skipped.
How
But
many-
anyways, no, it's okay. I just have a lot of work I need to be catching up on. So I'm very glad to be filming this to kind of like take a breather.
Yes,
and kind of
it's,
wind
it's
down.
nice too. I mean, didn't you say you have like how many weeks of lecture to catch up on?
5.
5. Yes, don't be like her.
Don't be like me.
Anyway,
It's senioritis, man. Senioritis.
All right, moving on. So, the word of the day was 이야기, which
Mhm.
a lot of people say to tell me a story, and we recently had our KCN theme reveal, which was tell me a story.
Our title of the show.
Yeah.
So, Madeline, can you kind of like talk a little bit about this year's show, the title, and kind of like the theme of it?
Yeah. Let's see. Going into it, I knew that I wanted it to be more focused on the Korean American experience. I know like last year was very like historical, but that was like set in Korea. And then the year before was a little bit on the Korean American experience, but like majority of it was set in Korea still. So I wanted something that was more true to like what I had lived and experienced and could kind of speak to. But I know I also still wanted it to be like rooted in Korean culture. So I was like in class one day. I feel like a lot of inspiration for KCN came from like my classes. But I was taking like a classics course at the time, and we were talking about how like these Asian American authors had taken like Greek and Roman classics and had kind of like adapted it to tell like their story. So I was like, oh, like maybe I can do the same, but with a Korean myth. And yeah, so I reached out to a few professors at UCLA, emailed them asking their thoughts, and kind of through that I settled upon like the tale of Parigongju. It's like the abandoned princess. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on the story of Parigongju?
Yeah, so let's see. This will be like a very abbreviated version, but basically there is a king and a queen, and they had a lot of daughters, and kind of every single time they hoped that like the next child would be a son. And then it kind of like got to like the queen was pregnant with like her 7th child, and she kind of had a dream, and because of it she was like really hopeful that the next child would be a son. But when it was a daughter, the king got upset, and then he cast her away. He like put her in like a box, and he like sent her away like on a river or something, and then she was found by like this older couple. Kind of a lot of different sources vary on like who found her and like how she grew up, but basically when she kind of grew to adulthood, her parents found out that they were like really sick, and they needed like one of their children to go to like this distant land and find the medication that they needed, but kind of their other daughters were like too afraid, or they were like unable to, so they sent out this search party to find the daughter that they had cast away. So after a long search, she was found and brought before the king and queen, and she basically said, as thanks to my parents for giving me life, even though like they cast me away, I'm gonna do this act for them, kind of in a show of filial piety. So she goes far away, like meets this celestial being. She performs like some tasks for him. She also like marries him and like has his children. I feel like that part of the story is a little weird. And then she has like a bunch of sons. So like she and like her husband and her sons like travel back to Korea. And when they arrive back, she finds out that it's like the funeral procession for her parents. So they've already passed. But she gives them the medication anyways, and they kind of come back to life. Yeah, and kind of as a reward for this, the king is like, oh, I'm gonna forgive you for marrying without my consent. Oh. But then also I'll give you kind of all the riches that you want. And she kind of refuses all that and is kind of just like, I just want to be on my own. So she becomes the first shaman and is kind of the person that all female shamans in Korea kind of trace their lineage back to. So yeah.
Parigongju. Thank you for the abbreviated short synopsis.
I think that was still pretty long, but yeah, of course.
So yeah, like you said, this is going to be like a modern retelling of Parigongju. So
I think that helps a lot for me, because personally, I'll be honest with you, I was pretty confused until now.
Oh, for like the plot of the show.
Yeah, it's also like I haven't really seen the whole like run through or script yet, so I just saw bits and I was a little confused. I think it makes a little more sense now.
Yeah, I hope everybody is able to take a listen to kind of like the backstory behind the thinking that it took to get to this theme and to the show this year. I guess, what do you hope the audience will get out of this year's show and play?
I feel like a big part, at least from my experience of being a Korean American, I'm like 3rd generation. It's kind of like I don't know how much I can really relate to like my Korean heritage. So there's kind of always this sense of like, do I belong? Do I not? Kind of like, where do I belong? And like, how do I fit into like this place that I find myself? And I think that's true for like a lot of different groups of people, and just kind of like a very universal experience. So I kind of wanted to explore that, and I kind of hope the audience will get out of it that like it's okay to not feel like you fully belong. Yeah, and just kind of belonging takes like work and effort, but hopefully you'll get there.
I love this.
It's so comforting in a way.
Yeah. And I'm really excited to kind of see like how you took such a fantastical folktale into a modern retelling and kind of getting these elements out of the show. So I'm looking forward to that, definitely. I guess like in terms of any specifics, if you could drop a couple hints of things maybe we could look forward to. Don't spoil too much though. Gotta keep everybody up with the suspense. But
yeah, do have like an alternate setting, so I think I can tell you that much.
Alternate setting?
So they're like a fantastical setting.
Oh, fantastical.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
love this.
Fantastical setting, and then one kind of set more in the real world. And then for the fantastical setting, thanks to like the wonderful work of our external finance director, we'll be able to have them in Hamburg, which I'm really excited for.
Oh my
pretty.
gosh. Oh my goodness. This is like a random fun fact, but like having done KCN for the 4th year now, I think one of the biggest just like limitations we had was always in regards to like traditional clothing, because like traditional Korean clothing is really expensive to like rent or like buy, and with our KCN budget I was like, oh, that's not possible, like we can't write like historical dramas because of it, like, you know. But I think it's really cool that this year we're able to kind of showcase that, and the audience will be able to see. Yeah, that's really cool. I guess in regards to like 파리공주 specifically, is there kind of like a reason you chose that folktale from like all the other folktales?
Yeah, there's like a whole back and forth email with me and like this UCLA professor talking about like the themes. I'm like a comparative literature major, so like I feel like themes are very like important to me. But I think overall the fact that it's like a foundation story in a sense, in terms of like it's the start of like all like shamans in Korea, felt important to me in terms of like people like moving to like America and becoming like Korean Americans. And then there's also just like a lot of themes of migration. So for her traveling a lot to kind of find this medication with her parents. And I also wanted to explore like themes of like filial piety, and kind of like what does filial piety look like in an American context, especially since as Americans we can be like very individualistic. So kind of how do these two things like struggle to like take hold of like our attention and our time. So
Very deep.
Wait, I definitely resonate with like filial piety too, because I feel like that's kind of a complicated like concept for people not of like Asian American, or like I don't know if other cultures have it, but I definitely feel like it's not as prevalent in like American culture, specifically because of this individuality that is kind of emphasized. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to kind of see how this will be expressed in this year's show. And like how you mentioned your 3rd gen, like I personally am like a 1.75 gen.
Okay.
No, actually, yeah, 1.9 gen.
just round to 2.
2nd gen, yes. Wait, but more on that. I'm kind of curious how, like, what your upbringing was, and kind of like your life growing up as a Korean American, I guess.
As a 3rd gen,
Yes.
are there like elements of that you're kind of, because you mentioned that you wanted to kind of reflect your own experiences growing up in this year's show, so.
Yeah, my characters are not 3rd gen. But yeah, it was my grandparents on both sides who immigrated here to the US. And then both of my parents were born in the US. So when they like had me, I don't speak like any Korean, so that's why I wasn't commenting at all for like the word of the day.
I'm very limited too, so I feel your pain.
Yeah, but we speak like all English at home. I think also as a child, we didn't really have much of like a Korean community. I'm not sure necessarily if it's because of like where we lived, or just because since my parents were a lot more Americanized, it's not like they had to rely as much on a Korean community. Yeah, so I wasn't really in touch with my Korean culture until I would say like freshman year of college. Like I never had tteokbokki until like my 18th birthday.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that's actually like, that's a crime. I'm sorry. Everybody who has not had tteokbokki needs to go and like buy some.
It's like a tragedy. Like I don't know what crime, it's just tragedy.
It's so good.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of like that with like a lot of foods, because if you think about it, unless you're like going out to like Korean restaurants and eating foods there, like the foods that you would know how to make, that you actually liked and would want to eat and make for your kids, would get like smaller and smaller as like time passes on. So
That is true. Because I eat primarily like Korean food at home, but unfortunately, I can't cook Korean food because I think this is also like if your like parents are really good at cooking, then like their children are sometimes not that good at cooking because like you never have to rely on yourself to cook for good Korean food. But I definitely resonate with like menu choices.
Moving on.
Yeah, I guess like moving on to kind of your involvement with KCN as the director, because we got to hear kind of about this year's show and like the aspects that the audience should kind of look forward to and kind of how your experiences growing up and what you want to express about the Korean American experience is kind of weaved into the show. I guess, can you kind of talk about your experience in KCN so far and like what's been your journey to get to the director position?
yeah, I first found out about KCN, I feel like pretty early on, like fall quarter of my freshman year. I think a lot of people don't really hear about it until like the show actually happens. But I followed someone like who's an upperclassman who was on like KCN e-board.
Wait, who?
It was Aaron Kwok.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Shout out.
Were you set team that year?
No, not that year. I wanted to apply to set team so badly because in high school I wanted to do tech, but I wasn't able to because of other conflicts. But because I'm like not from around LA, I wanted to go home for spring break. So that was like a deal breaker for me.
So you didn't do it freshman year?
But I applied sophomore year for set team.
Set team. I love set team. Everybody in set team, I love you. And everyone should join set team next year.
Madison will be joining set team.
I want to recruit her to set team. But anyways.
Yeah, so I really loved the experience. And then kind of almost as like a little joke within set team, they were like, oh, like because of your major, you should apply for the assistant director position. And I was like, oh, ha ha ha, like I don't think I'm going to do that.
Ha ha ha, I got it.
But I thought about it like a lot more as time passed. So then I did end up applying and then I got it. And now here I am as director 2 years later.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Madeline was my assistant director last year when I was directing the show. And I think it's actually great. And I'm like so glad you were assistant director and you're director this year because I feel like every year the director was never like a English or humanities major. I think my freshman year she was an art major, and then second year I think she was Cogzai.
Who was it?
Lauren.
I'm sorry, I don't
I think
remember.
yeah, but she was not like English. Oh, she had a film and TV minor, but like again, that's more like STEM because her major was STEM, and then like I was completely STEM, and so I was like, yes, Madeline, please come and write good literature and good writing for our show. So I'm super happy that you applied and you're finally in this position your senior year.
Yeah, thank you. I hope the show meets expectations.
It's beyond my expectation right now already. I feel like there's a lot in store.
I heard actually like the performance teams, it seems like it's more integrated into the script or like the story, at least the theme. Did you work a lot with like the chords to do that or?
Yeah, I think to some extent, just because last year Claire did such an amazing job integrating modern. I think that was like a really big memorable moment in the show. And because that was just such a plus for her, I was like, oh, like how can I expand upon this maybe next year?
So happy. So happy.
I'm really excited, yeah.
I guess like in your experience of being the director, what are like some of your best and most difficult moments?
Yeah, I think the best moments are probably in cast practice. Just seeing cast having fun. And also like seeing the script come to life. Like you felt it, but yeah, like I feel like the difficult part is like the writing and just getting words down on the page.
Yes.
But it's like so rewarding getting to like see them acted out. Or like sometimes I'll write something one way, not really kind of considering like the emotional tone of things, and then they'll like read it. I was like, oh, that was pretty good.
Who is cast this year? You want to go ahead and list them?
Oh, list them. Oh, I hope I don't forget someone.
You wanna look it up real quick?
No.
I like
Go ahead.
first and last name. Like,
Oh no, just first name.
okay. We have Tyler as, or just like list all 8 of them. Like, okay.
Are you
have,
sure it's 8?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We have Tyler, Kaylin, Joseph, Sarah, Taehi, Josh, Noah, and Naomi.
Yes.
Yes.
They're all very talented.
Yes.
They're so talented. And like Joseph and Taehi were in cast last year, so this is their second year doing cast, and look forward to their character changes. I feel like it's really cool to kind of see how like the same cast member can play like really different characters, and it kind of tells on their acting ability.
They are
They're
dynamic.
so good. So
What are your thoughts on cast, I guess, dynamic this year? And maybe like just the difference that you see from last year. What are the vibes? How is it different?
What are the vibes? I think it's also kind of hard to say. I didn't realize this was maybe like a struggle I would have, but kind of as assistant director last year, I would kind of just like, not like fool around, but I wasn't as like focused, so I could
Yeah.
socialize with cast and kind of be part of like the side conversations that happen during practice. But like as director, I'm like locked in and I'm like
always on
focused
the
on the
story,
scene.
yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it's a little bit harder for me to speak to the dynamic this year, but I think as time has been passing, they've gotten closer and closer, which is really fun to see. So
Do you think this year's cast is more like goofy or like more like serious? Because I feel like some years it's like,
I feel like it depends on each year, and I definitely like resonate. I feel like as the director, like you just have so many things on your plate, like you're like constantly thinking about the script because you need to deliver on time, because a lot of like other performance teams kind of like depend on you and like ask you questions that like you don't have answers to, and so I feel like it's different, like definitely like, yeah, I think my experience with like cast last year is probably different from like Madeline's experience with cast last year.
let's hear that. I want to hear that. What,
They were
what did you
amazing.
think?
I think I was just really stressed by the script.
What were the vibes?
Vibes were immaculate.
Okay.
Everyone was like,
They
they
were
were
very
so
goofy.
fun and goofy.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also last year's cast like division was like 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, 2 juniors, 2 seniors.
We had 2
Which
freshmen?
yeah,
yeah,
Taehi was a freshman.
Taehi and
I know
Anna.
Oh.
She doesn't
Wait.
look like it though.
I always forget she was a freshman.
Wait, I love Anna. Like she gives me upperclassmen vibes.
She does.
She's very mature.
Extremely.
And what were the vibes for you last year for cast?
What were the what?
Like, what did you think the vibes were?
Oh yeah, I think like also like very like funny, but also like very wholesome.
Yeah.
I feel like Daniel was like definitely like the dad
Oh,
character,
yeah.
like
He was-
organizing.
He was dad
Yeah.
in the show and outside of the
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
I think it felt like family, kind of, because of like,
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Yeah.
Shout out to Daniel.
Oh,
But we I think like it like a huge part of being the director is just really being able to see like cast like grow and develop as like a team, and definitely like seeing that dynamic kind of become more colorful towards like the end of the show is really rewarding. And
I think it's really important, like, for the play itself too.
yeah,
Because they have to vibe with each other,
yeah.
and like they like feed off that on stage. So
And I think they're all just super talented. And like when you put a group of people who want to do things and are like passionate about things, I think the synergy you get from that is like pretty crazy. And so I'm very, very excited to see.
yes,
I kind of wanted to ask more about the title of the show. So you said the title of the show is Tell Me a Story. Can you talk a little bit about how you came to the title? Because I feel like for me, coming up with the title was like really difficult.
Yeah, or I remembered that from last year. So I think I was thinking about it pretty early on. I think like during fall quarters actually when I came up with it, there was just kind of a lot of doubt of like, oh, is this actually the title I want to go with? I had like a dream actually when I first came up with it. But in it,
Celestial.
Oh.
wait, but in it, I told Clara like what I wanted for the title, tell me a story. And then she was like, I don't like it.
More
Guys,
on that.
I'm not like
no,
that.
No. What did she say? She's like, I don't like it.
I
Change
don't remember exactly, but she was like, I don't like it. So then I thought about it for like months after about, oh, maybe I should think of something else.
She's like, nah, I don't care what you think. Wait, why did you actually like decide to stick with it though?
I think there were like a lot of reasons. So obviously like the idea of like a myth, it's like passed down like orally. So kind of like as Clara said, you would like hear about it from like someone telling it to you. So kind of that idea of wanting to engage with another person and being like, tell me a story, kind of like tell me something about you. And like the story is kind of going to connect us. Like I'm going to learn something about you. And this is me showing like interest and effort in knowing that about you, is what I really liked about that. So
What did you want the title to be?
You know what? I have no preference on the title. Like, I think the difficulty about the title is that, like, you have to somehow frame the whole show and like express it in one word, a word that can kind of like carry all the themes and just like the lack of better words, the vibe of the show of that year. And so that's kind of difficult. And I think that's a perfect title. I feel like
What was your title?
for a
last
second
year?
I like forgot my title. Last year's show was Where the Mugunghwa Blooms.
Right. Did you like that, Madeline?
yeah, I did.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it took me a really long time to come up with the title last year because like I was like, how do I like frame this in just like one title? And I wanted the title to also kind of be relevant to the show, not just some random like story number 284, you know,
Yeah.
like not something like that. And it was hard to find like oh, like what is like a symbol that expresses the theme and something that like a motif that occurs throughout the show. And so once I kind of decided on the title, I think I like builded more on that motif as well. And so it was a long process, and like I was like dealing with deadlines, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. But I'm very glad you got the title done very early, so I'm very, very proud.
Thank you. I wonder what Dream Clara would have wanted the title to be.
You should have asked me in your dream
Maybe.
next time.
Oh. Wait, what does Mugunghwa mean? Or like what is... Wait, it is the national flower?
Yeah, the mugunghwa is the national flower of Korea.
Do you remember what the meaning is of
I think it's about resilience.
resilience?
And just for like background, last year's show, the one that I wrote, was about like the democratic revolution in Korea during the 1980s, and it was like the Minjong movement. And like it comes from an interest in like history of like Korean history, especially with like South Korea's history is actually very interesting because there was the Korean War in 1950, and once the line was drawn between North and South Korea, because technically Korea is still in a war with North Korea. It's just like kind of like temporarily hold, and that's why like everybody has to go to military service, and that's mandatory. So if you think about it, it hasn't been that long since the North and South kind of split, and that's why my grandma from both my dad and my mom's side, they're from North Korea, and they like crossed over during the war. And so that was a very relevant topic to me. And I think I'm a very like history geek. I really like learning about history. And one of the Korean history like time periods that I was really interested in was actually like Japanese colonialism era. But it was but I chose to talk about the 1980s because the first time I actually learned about that movement and that period of time in Korea and like what actually happened was very new to me. And as a history geek, I was like, why did I not know about that period of time in Korean history? And so I kind of wrote it with like the motivation that I wanted more people to know about it, like to hear about it, because it's honestly like a very interesting and like inspiring movement where it really required the unity of like Korean people as a whole in South Korea to kind of stand up for their own rights and just like the incorporation of real historical figures in last year's show, but with changed names, because I cannot like guarantee that that was 100% historically accurate, because it wasn't. It was like,
Oh, does it not show up if you like search it?
oh, if you search his actual name, it shows up. But
Oh,
like
okay.
my show, like the script last year was like took inspiration from those two characters, but kind of like took my take on it, added my own love lines. And I wanted to talk about kind of the factor of like socioeconomic like environments and how that changes like what you have to risk in order to do something, and just like frame that all in context while emphasizing the importance and the sacrifice of like previous generations. And I think that was actually very relevant last year. So yeah, that was kind of last year's show. And the reason why the title was Where the Mugunghwa Blooms is because Mugunghwa, again, like, can you hold this real quick? Let me just double check. Yeah, it says in the Ministry of the Interior and Safety of Korea, the Mugunghwa, or it's the Rose of Sharon, is an object of deep affection, meaning eternal blossom that never fades. And this is kind of like emphasizes Korea's noble spirit and like the eternal blossom that never fades, like that resilience to still stay like blooming despite all the historical troubles and situations that it faces. And that was kind of like the motif of last year's show. So yeah, that was the title. It took a very long time to come up with that. I actually worked also with like a Korean professor. So I actually took a class with her to get inspiration and like help, because her research and her expertise was actually on that movement. Yeah, so that's cool.
Yes. I want to talk about the songs in your story. Because I remember, or according to Haley, you were kind of on the fence of having like, or like she wasn't sure if you'd be down to have like 4
Musical
songs.
elements.
But
Yeah.
was it the songs that convinced you, or were you just like okay with 4 songs?
I think I was just like okay with it.
Oh,
There was a song that we like cut.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be 5 songs?
Yeah. Or the last one came later because I like asked her to do that one. But yeah, originally it was like 4 like different songs.
For context, Haley was a part of cast last year, and she actually wrote the last song for the show, the 2024 show. And she came back as the assistant director this year. And so she has been writing up songs for the musical element that everybody should get tickets for to see.
I think at the time of this recording, the one with Haley, because Haley did come on, and I think that will be up, but we do talk about her songs a bit. I think we mentioned Same Heart like 5 times.
Same Heart, go stream on Spotify.
Yeah, but I was surprised you okayed like 4 songs. Like, people are gonna slowly think KCN is like a musical.
Let's keep this legacy going.
Yeah. Well, I think, not to spoil things for Haley next year, but I think she does have plans to make it a musical.
Wow.
I'm
So
gonna
I
spoil
felt
it for her.
So I feel like
she has like 8 songs in the bag right now.
Oh man.
yeah, so like the slow ramp up would also be, like beneficial to her.
Yeah.
And I think there are also like a lot of things that you're able to tell through song that I would kind of struggle to write like
That's true,
dialogue wise. So it kind of saved me somewhat.
Yes.
But yeah.
I agree. I think there is that element of songs that can convey that level of emotion that you can't really get across unless you have like crazy monologues or like crazy well thought out like dialogues and like mood blocking and everything. And so I think it's such a blessing to have Haley on the team with such musical talent.
Was that something like you had to rewrite the script around, or what, did it kind of just like incorporate really naturally?
She wrote the songs before I'd written like a lot of the script. So honestly, the songs came first. She obviously had like a vague idea of plot. So she wrote it based on that. We did have to change some of the lyrics just so it fit the script a little bit better. But yeah, I think it was
more
like,
seamless.
yeah, it was pretty seamless.
Yeah, it seemed like it. Yeah, which is great. You didn't have to like, or like she didn't have to rewrite the whole song, or you didn't have to rewrite the whole script.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
I think I'm so excited to kind of see this year's show, and that's like one of the like things I'm really excited to see.
Wait, they're all really good at singing. I was so surprised.
Oh. Guys, cast this year is like very musically talented.
They are. I mean, one of the things we did at auditions was
Oh yeah, we made them sing.
it was not a requirement, but we're like, Haley every single time was like, yeah, not to pressure you, but do you sing?
I think it's also really funny to see like what song they chose.
Oh,
Like when you're put like on the spot,
Yeah.
what song do you choose to sing?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
the most memorable one. I mean, I don't want to call him out like this, but Noah, he
I
sang
knew you would sing.
Apatu. It was so cute. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Wait,
It took
our
me
cast
completely
Noah?
off
Yeah,
guard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love
It was really
Noah.
funny. I loved it. He was so like down to do it. So yeah, I think that actually helped a lot. Is like even if you're not the best singer, it's like if you're so down to do it,
Confidence.
yes, attitude.
Which kind of reminds me, which kind of reminds me, I did theater, middle school. My audition was a song, so I had to sing for that too. And so it was like flashbacks. I was like, oh, nostalgia. Of course you need to sing at like auditions to do theater.
Do you remember what you sang?
Oh my gosh, I sang Roar by Katy Perry.
Give us a line.
That gives
Give us a few
confidence.
measures.
I can't. I'm sorry. My
No.
voice is like changed since middle
No, no.
school.
Wait.
It's probably better.
I was listening to the podcast episode that was released this past week.
Uh-huh.
You said maybe in a future podcast episode you would sing a few bars of.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Of what?
I don't remember the song.
You're gonna sing for us?
No.
Oh my gosh,
Wait,
John.
if Clara does it, I also texted her like, do you want to do the tiramisu?
But I feel
We're
that's so
past that.
old.
We're past
We're
that.
like, if we do that, we're just telling and proving to everyone that we're like,
We're boomers. I mean, that was for episode 1, but
yeah.
like, we're past that, so we're not gonna do that. But I don't remember saying I would sing.
But
Well,
If you-
It's
good
on
thing it's
there.
recorded.
it's on there.
If you can
I know,
remember-
right?
If you remember what song it is, I'll sing it. But
Wait, guys. Also, John sings
No, I
and like
don't.
he
Please,
plays the
please
guitar.
don't
Like,
promote that.
he's
Don't promote that.
musician, guys.
do not. No, I'm a audio engineer. I am not a musician.
Musician and audio
No.
engineer.
I would like to say I'm just a photographer now.
and photographer. Oh my god,
serenade
I'm
you
so
while he
talented.
takes your grad photos.
Guys, reach out. Ask him
I
for
would
his
pay
rates.
extra for that.
Like,
I-
actually,
I don't sing. I don't play guitar. I'm just a photographer.
no, he
No.
does. He does all of the above.
Please don't go
He does
watching
all
those.
of
I'm gonna
the
take those
above.
down.
No, no.
I'm gonna take
Freedom
those
of
down.
expression.
No. Wait, please give us a line of your past audition.
Roar. I think my voice cracked like 10 times during that audition. But I think the only reason the teacher took me because I was so confident. I was like, roar.
Please give us a line.
No.
I want to hear that.
That goes back into the Pandora box, like, of my middle school.
Wait, did you sing for your freshman auditions too?
I don't think.
Because
no,
they
I
made you
sang.
sing. Yeah.
I sang during the show of my freshman year.
Yeah.
That was not intended.
Did they just
at all.
ask you later, like, do you sing?
Yeah, because it actually came about because we were doing a scene and because like freshman and sophomore year we were kind of like writing the script like even during like our retreat
Yeah.
and stuff, and so it kind of popped up where we're like, I feel like this scene kind of seems empty. Like, should we just add like a song here? And then it was like, oh, do you want to add the guitar here? And then we're like, okay, like who can play guitar? And freshman year, so many of cast was like so musically talented. Like,
Oh, Judy.
oh my god,
Her voice.
So good.
So
Judy
good.
was so good at singing, and I was just sitting there. I was like, yes, I like the idea. And then they asked me to sing like a part of it too, and I
You're
was
like,
like,
no.
I can't take the second part from Judy. Like, I can't like transition into that.
I think that was actually one of my favorite parts from the whole script.
Yeah.
But do you remember? If you go watch the recording, yeah.
It was like Akdong musician.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
remember the
the-
song
I think
itself.
in
It was
English it's called
친구?
Will Last Forever.
Oh yeah.
In
or
English, I don't know the
something.
Korean title.
Yeah. I just remember practicing that a lot, and then
In practice, it was flawless, and then
during the show, my voice kind of cracked a little bit. But
It
that's
cracked a few times. Yes. It was heartbreaking. I was so sad in the back. I was like, dang.
Wait, I think that's pretty good.
No, it was good. It was good. It was good. Like, I was trying to see if I could like fix that in post,
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your efforts. But
but
it's okay.
the
It's
crack
chill.
it was not fixable. But it was good. It was heartbreaking because during practice, it was like
It's
that never
good.
happened.
Wait, you know what? Actually, I remember the moment on stage because, like, okay, the sucky thing is when you are on stage and your mic is on, like, you can't clear your voice. You can't be like,
Oh.
I'm gonna sing, like, like that's too obvious, and you can't be like cracking your voice on or like clearing your throat on stage when people are throwing their lines, and like that was not like the transition was supposed to be super smooth, so I can't be like sitting there and then like clearing my throat to
Right.
be like, guys, I'm gonna sing. And so
Watch out.
I was like going into it, I was like, oh my gosh, my throat is closed right now.
Oh,
But it's okay.
it was good. It was good.
It's good. We're good. We're done with that. We're done with performing and singing on stage. So
Wait, I guess because like Haley was cast before, and she's projected to be director next, and
oh, she is.
Clara was also a part of cast. How is it different for you?
Oh,
Not
I am
being
curious
part of
about
cast.
that.
Yeah, I think that was another thing I struggled with as like director, just because I don't really have any acting experience, so I don't know what it's like to be like on the other side of things, or like the things that I'm saying helpful, or am I just confusing you more? Like, I don't know like what to say to help you. But thankfully I have like Haley with me, my assistant director, and then also Amanda, our production manager, who also would have been on the show by now, right? So she's like an acting major. So they've been like super helpful with me on this. I feel like we kind of have like different focuses in practice sometimes when we go in. I think for me it's always kind of like, are the lines okay, first of all? I think Amanda's is always kind of like the blocking and more of like the acting side of things, and then Haley's like, how is like the pitch of like their delivery. So I think we'll most often like make notes on that. So that's kind of interesting to see in practice too.
I love that dynamic. I think that's awesome. Being able to have many eyes kind of like directing together. Yeah.
Yes.
I think last year, I think whenever I watched cast members do their thing, I think I got too like in the emotions, and like my like facial expression would like I would be feeling it with them, like. So
Like
I
during
like
the play, or like during the show.
No, like during practices
Oh, during
too,
practice.
and like
Or I remember like every time, like everyone during the song, they're just like so into it on the little like iPhone speaker.
Wait, I remember the photos of you being like really into it like during the scene. I think I try to be like the opposite, unless like they're doing like really good on like a fix. I try to keep it neutral. But then there's a photo that they sent recently to the chat. It's just like my RBF. And it's just like the caption, like she's so disappointed.
Maybe just be loosen up a little. Maybe.
I'll try.
no, I feel like the realm of directing is so complicated and hard, but so fun at the
is.
same time.
I'm kind of looking forward to see like how you handle that on like rehearsal days at Royce. I remember Clara was stressing.
I was stressing. Don't be like
She
me.
was
Don't be like
so
me.
sensitive.
I
Like,
was like
I was scared.
I was very don't be like me. I feel like last year there
was a lot of
I don't even
things-
know. I think I was just like the pressure of like the show must be perfect was
That-
like really big.
and we were like getting chased by time, low key.
We were.
So it was very stressful.
I'm gonna make sure that does not happen, but like I can't guarantee it. So hopefully by work light we'll have all the cue sheets ready.
We should talk too, so I like know what to expect for rehearsals.
Oh yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know all the stressful points. So like prepare you in advance.
Pre-stressing.
Yes.
I think it's okay though, because like honestly, even during like Royce rehearsals, cast is usually like they will make a lot of mistakes. They will forget lines, but then on the like actual show,
nobody has actually forgotten a line.
they always step up. like somehow it's so much better suddenly.
You know, I feel like it's like the test taking, you know, like when you're actually taking a test, like the adrenaline hits and then like everything is high risk that like you're like, I perform better, you know.
I think I forgot the saying in
Isn't
Korean.
like bad rehearsal means like a good performance? Isn't that like a thing too?
I haven't heard of that, but I just heard like there's people that are like when it comes to real thing, the real deal, like they perform better. I forgot there's a word in Korean, and then there's people that just do better in rehearsal. And they
Yeah, no, I
practice.
definitely like it's the same for test taking. Like some people are really bad test takers and like some people are like thrive at test taking. Yeah.
But I think that's like a trend I've seen with cast. Don't stress too much.
Yeah.
They'll be fine. Yeah.
We're like almost there. We are like less than a month away and like the show is actually picking up so much, so there's so many logistical things to get done.
Yeah.
But
I think by the time this goes up, tickets will be up
out. So everybody
April 5th.
take a pause and go to our Instagram page and
Just get
get
your
the
tickets. Yes.
before they sell out, because then that's too bad. So you should make sure to get them ASAP.
Do you want to share the show info just real quick? When does it start? When do tickets go up? Or
Oh, yeah.
went up?
Yeah, they are going up March 17th. I don't know what.
Yes.
Do we know what time?
I'm not sure what time, but if you are keeping track with our Instagram, you probably saw it went up.
And then the actual show date is Saturday, April 5th. And I believe I was like looking at this
7 p.m.
7 p.m. But I think doors open like 6:30, right?
Lines are pretty long.
Lines are pretty long.
Yeah.
Get there earlier. The show starts at 7. I think doors will open earlier. Exact time. Check our Instagram page.
Will we have merch sales?
We will be selling stickers, and if you want to get your very own KCN t-shirt, we will probably have some extra. So look out. We may have a merch table there while you're waiting in line, and we'll also be flyering. If we don't sell out, we'll be flyering on Bruin Walk and also having our sticker and t-shirt fundraisers at the same time. So come and support if it hasn't already happened. And if it did, I hope you came and supported.
Please sell it out so we don't have to flyer.
Yeah.
Yes, let's sell out, guys.
I think that's one of the pains that the whole KCN like people have to like go through together.
Yeah, typically like the rule is you don't get your VIP tickets until you flyer. Like it is mandatory for everybody.
It's like 1 hour, 2 hours, right?
I think 1 hour.
1
Yeah.
hour.
It's quite the walk to get there for students, I will believe.
Or it's okay. I think the most jarring element of it is you give it to people and like people don't take it and they're like they just ignore you and they just walk straight past.
It's good like exposure therapy if you're scared of getting rejected. Yeah.
No, it really is. You're like, okay, you don't want it. Next person, kind of a.
I should bring. I have a few friends that fear rejection. Maybe I should just bring them for that.
Just bring them.
Wait, yo.
Oh my gosh.
I think they would not appreciate it, but I think it would work.
Exposure therapy.
Yeah. Wait, I remember Derek, the one part of TKD.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was like on his knees.
Oh yeah, I remember
He was
that.
like, please take it.
And they still refuse.
Yeah.
They still refuse.
I'm just like, at that
I
point,
think
just take
so.
it for him.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Oh my goodness.
But that was
Bruin
funny.
Walk.
That was funny. Yeah.
Hope we make very fun memories this year as well. Yeah, I think. Do any of you guys have just like last remarks?
Thank you for coming, Madeline.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me. This is really fun.
Yeah, I feel like our listeners will also appreciate kind of having more context on the show this year, on what to look forward to, and just general information about KCN 2025. To end it off, our song rec of the day, Madeline.
My song rack is Answer by Homezone. I listened to him a lot last year, and this is kind of like my comfort song, I would say.
Do you want to give us the genre of the song, kind of?
I'm not good with genre.
Or like what is the genre of the song?
Is it like
R&B, ballad,
Yeah, I think like KR&B.
K-R&B?
It's like it's definitely like a sadder song.
Oh, okay.
I would say.
I love sad songs. I'm gonna take a listen.
Also, I don't understand Korean, so I don't. I like looked up a translation online, so it is like very reassuring, but like the actual tone of the song is, I think, pretty sad.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, go listen to it.
Is there a reason why exactly that song you chose that for the song, Rick?
I just liked it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you in like a time of a dark time?
Difficulty. You like
And you just like you just blasted on.
Oh, like existential crisis when
Yeah.
it came to studying for the MCAT. That was like really helpful for that.
Oh. For everybody studying the MCAT, maybe that'll become your comfort song as well. We'll keep that.
It will be
We'll put that
in
up.
the playlist.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll add it.
Okay.
Go listen to it.
Okay. And as for our just ending credits, guys, our video editor is Juan, who is sitting behind our camera. Our audio editor is John. Our hosts, I'm Clara.
I'm Madison.
John.
And our guest, Madeline.
Thank you for coming out.
Yes. So, all aboard.
We'll meet you on our next episode.
For Soul to Soul.
Choo choo.
Yay!
Can you do choo choo one more time?
Choo choo.
Louder.
Choo choo.